I want to welcome all the new directors to the board of the Southwest New Brunswick Service Commission. I had a little chat with Winston earlier today, and he reminded me that many of you may not know what happened with our board and who's on our board now. So I only found out myself last Wednesday. I had the final tally of who's on the board from the LSDs. I know the municipalities got taken care of a little while back, but LSDs were a little bit delayed. And so we have now, as new members on the board, we have Brad Henderson as full member, Kate Akaji is the deputy mayor of St. Andrews, and so she would be alternate. We have John Didorakis, and we have Barb Rainer, who is the deputy mayor of St. George. She's the alternate. John Craig, Adam Hatt, who is here from Blacks Harbor, Bonnie Morse, Roger Fitzsimmons from Grand Manan, Harvey Matthews, who is from Campbell. I'm not sure if they have a deputy mayor there yet or not. They may not. We also have Ghislaine Wheaton, who's the alternate for St. Stephen now. She's the new deputy mayor there. And we have Sheena Young from West Isles LSD, Brian Glebe from Shamcook LSD, and Glenn Hawkins from St. George LSD. So welcome everybody. At this time, I'm looking for conflict of interest declarations. If anybody has any, please declare them now. So seeing none, moving on to adoption of the agenda. You all have the agenda circulated, so I'm looking for a motion to adopt. Moved by Wayne McQuarrie, seconded by Al McEachran. Motion carried. At this time, I want to, there's a few things on our agenda. They're going to be short items because the main objective tonight was the election of officers. But there's a couple of things we wanted to get out of the way. And the first thing I have on there is the introduction of our new REMC, Rhonda Houland. So Rhonda, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Hollis, for the invitation. Some of you may or may not know me. Or you may know me from wearing an orange shirt for the last number of years in the area. Currently I'm wearing a blue shirt. Haven't forgot my orange side of the fence now, being GSAR. I came into this position in May, and I'm local. For those of you that don't know me, I reside in Tower Hill. I come with a interesting, diverse background, quite a bit of emergency management, and my role and my hope is to work with all the LSDs and municipalities to get everyone up to par on emergency response plans. Here to help you in any way I can. I'm here to help you guys. Looking forward to working with everybody and, you know, doing what I can to help you out. There will be some, I believe, coming up in the fall. EMO is going to have some information sessions with all the mayors and councils and LSDs, just to kind of give you a overview of what we do, what we can do, how we can be there to support you. And those are, I think we're looking at somewhere around September time to start pushing that out. So if you hear rumblings of it, that's what that's all about. So that's pretty much all I have to say. If you have any questions and we have time, I'll certainly take your questions.
Well, we got a couple of minutes if anybody has a question. So Rhonda's the new Dan to Cleveland. Jim, if you're saying
Just
something,
welcome aboard.
I'm saved. Hopefully in the future, you'll have more questions for me because I hope to be a familiar face around with the RSC. So.
Yes, I would just say welcome, Rhonda. I'm glad to have you and congratulations on the new title and position. Looking forward to working with you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Rhonda. Okay, so moving along. Hey, Winston, you made it. So moving along on our agenda, I have a bit of a budget report. I'm going to bring it up here on the screen. So I sent this out with the package, not our full financial statement, but this is just where we are at the end of May. A couple of things I wanted to point out here. It appears, according to the numbers, that we've got a surplus year to date of $933,000. That's not really the case. I just want to make sure that people understand that the budget is the annual budget divided by 12 for 5 months. So what that means is that if you look down towards where it says fiscal services under expense, our actual at the end of May was $395,000, and our budget appeared to be $702,000. That's because that includes capital expenses, and we haven't spent a lot of that. We do that a lot in the summer, so that number is going to rise quite a bit. Other than that, though, on some of the other expenses, we've realized some efficiencies in a few different areas. So our payroll is down because we haven't hit a lot of overtime yet for the year. We've hit some operational efficiencies. So the expenses are down a little bit, and our revenue is up. According to year to date, you can see there tipping fees, other sources, 1.4 million, and we budgeted 1.15. That's partially because our waste that comes from Western Valley Regional Service Commission, they send to us in the first half of the year. They send us half their waste, and the other half of their waste they send to Northwest Regional Service Commission. So we're going to be seeing a lot less from them, but our USA waste is on par and will probably be over budget again this year in terms of revenue. Other than that, there's no real big surprises in where we are year to date. So that's our snapshot. Realistically, our surplus right now is probably more like about, not counting all the capital stuff, our surplus is probably about the 350 range right at the moment. Any questions on that? Next item, I had statements of disclosure, and that was just a reminder for myself more than anything. I sent out a copy of the statements of disclosure to everybody in the package. One of the bylaw changes we made was that these get renewed on an annual basis, normally at our AGM, but this year where we had a new board, it would have to happen, sometime around now. So when you get a chance, please fill those out and send them to me, and we can put them on file. Next item on my agenda here was on the committees. So I'm just going to bring up my screen once again. So I need to have this discussion tonight because our board has changed dramatically. We have 8 new board members out of 17 of the regular seats. Because of that, some of our committees have lost some members. So Finance and Audit Committee, the chair is still here, Winston. Previously, we had 5 members in that committee. We lost 2. We currently have 3, and we need a minimum of 4. So we need 1 more there. Human Resources Committee, Wade Greenlaw is still with us. Previously had 5. We lost 2 there as well. So currently have 3. So we need 1 more to make a minimum of 4. On PMC, Dennis is still with us. We lost 2 members there, but they're still 4 plus 1. The plus 1 means a community member. The 4 is the board members. So theoretically, according to the bylaws, the PMC can operate as is, but they may be looking for 1 or 2 new members. Technical Advisory Committee didn't change, and Winston is still with us, so he's still a chair there. The Regional Collaborative Committee, we lost 2. However, they were at 9 registered members, and that brought them down to 7. The maximum number of members on a standing committee, according to the new bylaws, is 8. So they can operate as they are with the members that they have. They could take on 1 more member possibly. However, the chair is one of the people that we lost. So for that particular committee, I'm going to call a committee meeting in the next couple of weeks or so I'll chair it just to get it going, and that committee will have to pick a chair out of that committee. And the rest of them, if you want to add more members, technical advisory, if you want to add, yeah, you could. If you wanted to, planning management, Dennis, you could add 1 or 2 new members if you want to. Human resources, Wade, you're going to have to add 1 more member, but the HR committee isn't really doing a lot right now. So I don't anticipate you're going to be doing a lot more work until the fall. So it's not critical that it happens like right now, but you will need at least 1 more member on the HR committee. Finance and audit committee is the one, though, that I need to work with over the summer to get the budget prepared. So right now there's only 3 members on that committee, which means it's not a committee. So I need to add at least 1 more member to that committee. As you know, when we appoint members to committees, it's done by motion at a board meeting, such as this one. I'm not 100% sure when the next board meeting is going to be. We usually skip July, but we may not this year. I'm not sure. That's going to be up to the new executive committee. For my own peace of mind and to be on the safe side, if somebody wanted to make a motion to appoint somebody or volunteer themselves and get a motion and a seconder and get a vote here tonight to be on the Finance and Audit Committee, that would be great too. Don't all jump at once.
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah. Well, we told them to move, but I guess someone said to go away tonight. I'm not sure the tire's gone.
Well, that's Winston here. If nobody's willing to volunteer for Finance and Audit Committee tonight, I'll send out an email to everybody, and we'll have to get one appointed at the next board meeting or some kind of a special meeting, because I do need to meet with Finance and Audit a couple times over the summer. Reason being is we have a meeting at the end of August where I present the 2022 budget. And I have to do that at the August meeting because you need 45-day review period, and I have to get that in by October 1st. So I usually over the summer, I'll work with Finance and Audit Committee.
Hollis,
Yes.
where we have a new board, should we not, I'm hopeful everyone that's in position stays in position, but should this board not go through the whole process again? I like to keep a consistency there, but does original members just stay put?
They are.
Okay.
They are. But what happened was we lost two members that were on the Finance and Audit Committee, did not get reelected.
Okay.
So that brought that committee to 3 people, and I need a minimum of 4.
Okay, I just figured this is all new, now we start all over.
Well, I mean, we could start reappoint every single committee, but
Yeah.
my thought was whoever was on the committees and whoever was chair of those committees stays if they're still here as a board member.
Oh, I am sure that will work out that way, yes, but I just thought the process would have to go through. Okay.
Yeah. Really, all I'm saying is the committees will meet and figure that out and appoint new people to as they need to. It's just that this one is a little bit time sensitive, where I'm going to start working on the budget next week, and I need to work with Finance and Audit Committee a couple of times.
Just a little something there, Hollis.
Sure.
Instead of having just 4 on that Finance and Audit Committee, it's a lot more convenient if we have 5.
I agree. But I need at least 1 more.
I'll volunteer.
Heather? Okay. I need a motion from a board member. Wayne? I need a seconder. Sam? Okay, so so it's been moved by Wayne McCory, seconded by Sam Walsh, that Heather Happ be a new member of the Finance and Audit Committee. Is there any question?
Mr. Chairman, this is Brian Glebe.
Sure.
In a discussion like this, do you not respond to the raised hand? Or
Sorry, Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Brian, I missed your raised hand.
Okay, I was going to offer my name to the, for inclusion in the Finance Committee.
Okay. Again, I have a motion on the floor, so I'm going to deal with that motion first.
Just before, so it's best for me just to interrupt by verbally rather than raise a hand. Is that the way it operates?
Whatever works, Brian.
Okay, good. I'll get rid of my hand.
So I have a motion on the floor, been moved by Wayne McCory and seconded by Sam Walsh, that Heather Happ become a new member of the Finance Committee. Is there any question on that motion? No. Hearing none. All those in favor,
Aye.
raise your hand physically if you, so we can see it. You got count there, Claudette? Got it? Any opposed? Motion carried. So Brian Glebe had offered to also be on the Finance and Audit Committee, as Dennis indicated 5 would be good. Does anybody want to make that motion at this point in time? Brad Henderson? And Alan, were you seconding? Okay, so it's been moved by Brad Henderson, seconded by Al McEachern, that Brian Glebe be part of the Finance and Audit Committee. Is there any question? Hearing none, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor? Got it, Claudette? Okay, any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so was there any more questions on the committees themselves? Or any discussion you would like to have about the committees?
Sorry, Hollis, are we going to fill the other committees as well? Or are we just, yeah, okay.
We are in due course. It's just that I absolutely needed those ones, the Finance and Audit, to work with over the summer. I'm going to let the committees meet that have quorum. Finance and Audit, or sorry, Human Resources might be a different story. We might, but they can nominate somebody at the next board meeting, and we can vote on it in the next board meeting, because they don't actually need to do any work this summer. They don't need to meet. It's just really that one committee that I absolutely had to have this summer.
Well, sorry to interrupt. Well, the regional collaborative one, will they be meeting over the summer, or do they just meet in the kind of the shorter seasons?
Yep, they're. I'm going to have to call that meeting, because one of the things they have to do is nominate or pick a chair, because we don't have the chair anymore.
Is it possible to get consideration to be on that committee tonight? So that way, should I be successfully appointed, that I could attend from I guess stage 1?
You can attend a committee meeting, sure.
Okay, okay.
Yep. Anybody can attend.
Okay.
To be a part of the committee, you just need to be nominated, and then just like we just did.
Okay.
Alrighty. So next, I have a discussion point about a letter I sent out. The reason I had to send this out now, and the reason I have to put it in tonight's meeting, is because the deadline for public input is July 1st. So I literally have to get this letter out tomorrow if you want me to. Hopefully you had a chance to read it. So what's happening is all the other regional service commissions are submitting their own letters. We're not doing a form letter. Some of them are picking different things or different pieces of that particular piece of legislation apart, and they're commenting on that. Some of them are commenting as a whole. So this was my whole thing about this was there was not strong enough language within the regulation that would ensure that the Regional Service Commission wouldn't end up just tossed by the side, and then they go ahead and do the same thing they did with tires and oil and paint and electronics and everything else. There's nothing in that regulation that I read that would indicate that anybody's obligated to anything with Regional Service Commission. That could end up with leaving us with stranded assets, like all of our recycling infrastructure, all that kind of thing. So my focus of this letter is on that particular language, that we need better and stronger language. So I'm going to open the floor up here if anybody has any other discussion points. If you like the letter, if you want me to send it as is, or if you have suggestions. Ken.
I'd like to, when we first started looking at the PPP program, was probably about 4 years ago. We started looking at recycling and what it was costing us. Right now, we're paying about $90 per ton, tipping ton, which subsidizes the recycling program. What we then looked at was the PPP program. We had it was some sort of a representative that came forward and talked to us about the PPP that was taking place in other provinces. And basically what it does, it puts the onus on the manufacturers to look after paying for the recycling of the materials that they are producing. So in other provinces, the way it works, and as we were told by a representative who was selling the plan to us, was that we would be looking at taking in, you pay for it as a consumer, you pay 1/4 cent on a plastic bottle or 1/4% on some other plastic wrap that you purchase at the store. And then you turn around, you pay again when you're paying your tipping fee for the recycling program. So what the PPP program was supposed to do was supposed to replace the expenditure that we are paying within the RSC, as I understand it, was to replace that funding. So when we were told first about the PPP program, we were told that we would get within the RSC 10, the estimation was about $600,000, which was a little more than what would have been required to handle the recycling costs. When we looked at, and I'm going to step back here once again, the reason we were so anxious to move forward into the PPP program was because at the time when we first started studying this, it was costing us about $440,000 per year within the RSC to pay for recycling. We got about 40,000 of that back when we sold the goods, the recycled plastic and cardboard, mainly cardboard. So at that point, we were still losing $400,000 a year. Well, the PPP program, when we first had that presented to us, the manufacturers were going to be paying the RSC about $600,000 a year, which meant that we would then be back in a positive position on PPP. So if you've had a chance to read the documentation that the province has put forward, it says nothing in there about the RSCs getting any income from this new PPP program. And as Hollis has stated, the majority of that money is going to be going into Recycle NB. So we have some, as Hollis stated, there are some questions as to how this policy is going to be implemented by the province and where the money is going to go from that recycling or the PPP program. Are we still as taxpayers going to be putting a $20 surcharge on our tipping fee per ton to support recycling? And then we're still going to pay for it when we purchase goods. And then yet the province is going to take the money and distribute it as they see fit. So there's a lot of questions there. And I think this letter is necessary to start that follow-on discussion with the province as to how this PPP program is going to be implemented in the longer term so that it doesn't adversely affect the RSCs, not just ours, but all 12. Sorry, Hollis, I just wanted to give everybody a little bit of a background on that.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That's perfect. Perfect, Ken. Does anybody have any questions about the letter itself? Yeah.
Alan's got a comment.
Yes, just to add, what Mayor Stanex was talking about is the money is available for provinces to collect it, and the industry is paying that. so many, whatever, on their tax, that their percentage on per package. So the problem is it's not being collected for us to be used. And he's right, it's 600,000 plus for just our region. That's what we calculated. And that's been asked to, we've asked the province in a couple sittings to start collecting, but never get anywhere with that.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? Sam, go ahead.
I read the letter and I would be in favor of you submitting the letter to the minister.
Okay, I'm going to need a motion. So is that going to be a motion, Sam?
Yes,
Okay. Moved by Sam and seconded by Ken. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, so it's been moved by Sam Walsh, seconded by Ken Stanix, that the letter be sent to the minister as circulated. Any more questions on it? Okay, I'm going to call for the vote. All those in favor? Okay. Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. I will send that tomorrow. Okay. Now the fun stuff. Okay, so we're going to do our election of officers now. So I'm going to call for nominations for chair. And I'm going to call 3 times. Are there any nominations for chair? And you can nominate yourself.
I'd like to nominate Ken Stanix for chair, please.
I'll
Okay,
second that motion.
so Ken Stanix has been nominated. Ken, would you accept that nomination?
I would. Thank you. Yeah, I'm quite honored. Thanks.
Are there any other nominations for chair?
I'd like to nominate Wade Greenlaw.
Is Wade here?
I don't know, is he?
I don't think he's here. I haven't seen
Yeah,
him.
I'd be a little uncomfortable accepting that nomination on his behalf because I don't know if he'd want to or not, given his work schedule.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Are there any, Sam?
I would nominate Jim Tubbs.
Jim, do you accept that nomination?
I would decline the chair's position. Thank you.
I'm going to call one more time. Is there any more nominations for chair? Seeing none, I'm going to declare by acclamation our new chair is Ken Stanix. Congratulations, Ken.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone.
So now we're going to call for nominations for vice chair.
Would you take that one, Jim?
Yes, I would. Thank you.
Okay, I'll nominate Jim then.
I'll second it.
Jim Tubbs nominated for vice chair. Are there any more nominations? And last call, are there any nominations for vice chair? Seeing none, I'm going to declare Jim Tubbs by acclamation vice chair of the Regional Service Commission. Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you, Hollis.
Congratulations, Jim.
Thank you.
We have a nomination for member at large. So I'm going to call for nominations for member at large.
I'd nominate Glenn Hawkins.
Glenn, would you accept that nomination? Where are you, Glenn? You're muted.
Yeah, I panicked and I couldn't find the mute button. I guess I'm not really all that sure about what the job is, but I guess I signed up and I guess I'll accept, yeah. But if there's someone, with more experience that would like to do it, no problem.
Okay. So just before you fully commit, the member at large position is, we have a chair and a vice chair, and if neither one of them are available, you have to run the meeting, basically. And you're also part of the executive committee, and the executive committee meets and talks about the actual board meetings. That's the gist of it. You're also
Okay, I guess I would be willing to try that.
You're also a signing authority, just so you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Are there any other nominations for member at large? Any more nominations for a member at large? Hearing none, I'm going to declare Glenn Hawkins member at large by acclamation. Congratulations, Glenn.
Congratulations, Glenn.
Thank you.
That concludes our elections of officers. The other position is parliamentarian, which we generally do at the meeting following the election. So we'll take care of that at the next board meeting. So now I'm at the point with Q&A of the public, and this has been open to the public on YouTube, and the notification there is to send me an email. And just checking my email. I don't have anything there. Does anybody else have anything to add before I call for an adjournment?
I do, Hollis. On the question there a while ago, when we had a meeting with just the LSDs, with supposed to be with the minister, but the deputy minister was the one that was there. And I asked him to send out a phone number to all the cell phone number of the minister to all the members of of the LSDs. Well, we never received any of that. I also asked him if the minister was going to have a meeting with the RSC. We had one in April at our general meeting, but there was no time for questions or anything else. I think that he should be meeting with the RSC as a whole to put our comments in as a group, not as standalone people. That's it.
Talking about local governance reform, in other words. So yeah, Dennis, this is the first, like I said, we didn't have an actual board of directors until last Wednesday. So, but now that we have one, you're right. And I'll first of all, I'll see if I can get the phone number. I might even have it. And I will ask about a meeting.
Also, just on that, Hollis, I'd like the phone number sent out to the other LSDs that did not get on the board or anything, because that was the main reason that I was requesting that phone number, so that at least they could put their input into it.
I'm assuming one of you guys has all their contact information, because I don't, all of the LSDs. So I'll send it to one of you guys in your group, and you guys can do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, or you could send it to Darren and he could send it out to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
What phone number are you looking for? Just his office or a cell phone?
Cell phone.
Good luck there.
No, he gave it out at the April meeting. But everything was just so quick. Some of us never got a copy down. But Wayne Greenlaw, I know, has it for sure.
You didn't get one of his business cards. It wasn't on that either.
No, but he gave it out verbally.
All right, Dennis, you know what I'm looking for next.
I move we adjourn.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and welcome all the new folks, and we'll hope to see you again soon.
Welcome. Cheers, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Yeah.
Night.
Good night.